This is a presentation of Social Media and Social Justice Teachings by James Sears. So let's get started. What is social media? Social media, by definition, are websites and other online means of communication that are used by large groups of people to share information and to develop social and professional contacts. Some examples are Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Snapchat. So what's the history of social media? So the first known social media was created in 1978, and it was bulletin board system, and it was created by Ward Christensen and Randy Suis, and was to announce the meeting and sharing information by posting it on BBS, which is the short of bulletin board system. It was the beginning of virtual community and the first dial-up in history. From this point onwards, social media began to take shape. So this brings us down to whether social media is good or bad. So some of the cons of this is that social media creates stress. People use social media to vent about their lives, creating a loss of stress. People post comments or post images of themselves, thus relieving the stress. But it turns out that when so many people are relieving the stress on these platforms, they are actually more stressed out of the result of other people's stress, ironically. From a study done in 2015 by Pew Research Center, based in Washington, D.C., they discovered that women have more stress than men. The second is mood. So in 2014, researchers in Austria found that people who used social media for more than 20 minutes had a lower mood on average than someone who just simply browsed the internet. The study suggests that this was simply because social media was seen as a waste of time. However, the University of California schools, none in particular altogether, researched mood related to social media and found the following. And this is a quote: "Bad weather increased the number of negative posts by 1%. And the researchers found that one negative post by someone in a rainy city influenced another 1.3 negative posts by a friend living in dry cities. The better news is that happy posts had a stronger influence. Each one inspired 1.75 more happy posts." The third is anxiety. So a study in the journal Computers and Human Behavior found that people who use 7 or more social media platforms were more than 3 times as likely as people using 0 to 2 platforms to have high levels of general anxiety symptoms. That said, it is unclear if and how social media causes anxiety, and the researchers from the Computers and Human Behavior concluded that more research needed to be done. So then, bringing in depression and relationships. So a study conducted in 2016 involving 1,700 people found a threefold risk of depression and anxiety among people who used social media platforms. So then the reasons for this were, they suggested, included cyberbullying, having a disoriented view of other people's lives, and feeling like time spent on social media was a waste. More than 700 people found that depressive symptoms, such as low mood and feelings of worthless and hopelessness, were linked to the quality of online interactions. So social media relating to sleep. So in 2017, researchers from the University of Pittsburgh asked 1,700 18 to 30-year-olds about their social media and sleeping habits. So they found a link between sleep disturbances and social media and concluded that blue light was the biggest part in the play. So how often they logged on rather than the time they spent on these social media sites was a higher predictor of disturbed sleep, suggesting an obsessive checking, the research said. And researchers say that this could be caused by psychological arousal before sleep, and the bright lights of our devices can dim circadian rhythms. So then finally, it's addiction. Well, not finally, it's one of the last ones, but addiction. So despite the argument from a few researchers that tweeting may be harder to resist than cigarettes, alcohol, social media addiction isn't included in the latest diagnostic manual for the mental health disorders. Actually, Nottingham Trent University in the UK analyzed 43 previous studies on the matter and concluded that social media addiction is a mental health problem that may require professional treatment. They found that excessive usage was linked to relationship problems, worse academic achievement, and less participation in offline communities. Also, self-esteem and well-being. So social media make more than half of its users feel inadequate, according to a survey of 1,500 people based on a disability charity scope. And half of 18 to 34-year-olds say it makes them feel unattractive. A 2016 study by researchers at Penn State University suggested that viewing other people's selfies lowered self-esteem because users compare themselves to photos of people looking their happiest when people in reality aren't feeling as happy as they really are. And then there's envy. So in a study involving 600 adults, roughly a third said that social media made them feel negative emotions, mainly frustration, and envy was the main cause. However, envy isn't necessarily a destructive emotion. It can actually make people work harder, according to researchers from Michigan University and the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. But the type of envy that these researchers found is benign envy, which, again, makes a person want to work more hard. So then there's loneliness. Spending more time on social media, as the researchers said, could displace face-to-face interactions and make people feel excluded. Exposure to such highly idealized representations of peers' lives may elicit feelings of envy and the distorted belief that others lead happier lives and more successful lives, which may increase perceived social isolation. So then I conducted a study. So I ran a study on today, which is March 18th of 2020, asking my 600 Instagram followers the following. Is social media good or bad? And if you're picking good, why? So my Instagram poll results for the first question, which was, do you think social media is good or bad? So out of the 74 people who answered the poll, 45 voted that it's good, whereas 29 people voted for it being bad. So the Instagram poll results for the second question, why is social media good? So from the variety of answers, these were the most repeated, them being memes and connecting with people. So the benefits of social media. So as mentioned in the previous slide, someone said that they think that social media is good simply because it allows them to see memes. So by definition, a meme is a humorous image, video, or piece of text that is copied and rapidly spread by internet users. Some of my favorite memes are found right here, ironically through Instagram. Making relationships and connecting with people is also another big thing. Pew Research discovered that social media has an impact of 66% of relationships. But contrary to that belief, this impact is usually positive. For long-term relationships, Pew reports that the impact is much larger and much more positive. Applications such as Snapchat allow for people to find their realm. For example, the vast majority of people use Snapchat for connecting with friends and brands that they love. On Snapchat, it's important to be fun, entertaining, and authentic, to really be yourself. So then we bring this Catholic social teachings into this. The conventional top-down model of preaching Christianity via trained priests. Social media has now enabled many ordinary Christians to have one-to-one conversations about their faith with non-believers, and Christians are approaching their religion in a whole new way from this. So online opportunities for members of the church. Social media offers much more space for congregational activities to actively engage with sermons by tweeting along, asking questions, sharing photos of church activities, or continuing discussions throughout the week, not just on Sundays. Especially during this time of crisis with the coronavirus, many churches are currently streaming their services online, as it is unsafe to be in the presence of other people. So as a Reverend Pam Smith said, there is no limit other than our imaginations in how we might use these new communication opportunities to reach people. So according to the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, one of my sources, due to the presence of young adults on social media and their prominent role in public disclosure, keeping these activities focused on young adults or certain demographics of young adults may be ideal for the long run. That's my presentation. Here are my sources. Thank you.